this channel. Finally, the time has come when we are going to have our discussion on understanding the yearly planetary movements in the year 2021. After whatsoever we have faced in this particular year, where we are moving ahead with this hope that 2021 is not only going to put an end to all of our miseries, but also make us open towards all the opportunities. So what I'm going to do in this video is that I've already uploaded a video where I have explained you the planetary influence in the form of numerological numbers. How could we decode the energies of 2021 as per our personal year? If you want to get a clarity, you can also watch that video as well. I'm going to mention the link of that previous video in the description box of this video. And in this video now we are going to focus only on the astrological planetary involvements and contribution to the year 2021. So guys, I'm going to divide this video in two parts. First part, which is going to remain common for all the 12 ascendant natives, where I'm going to explain you the major transit movements which is going to happen in the year 2021. And in the second part, we will try to understand what 2021 is going to bring specifically for you. Whatsoever planetary transit movements we are going to discuss in the first part of this video, how is it going to affect you as per your ascendant in a very customized way. So okay guys, let's just start our discussion on understanding the major planetary movements in the year 2021. It's very simple. Whenever we have to look at any particular year's theme, we always give emphasis and more emphasis to the slow moving planets, because they have the capacity to bring a major change in our life, to lay foundation to something very substantial which we want to achieve. So from this particular perspective, we generally give emphasis to the transit of the planet Saturn, because Saturn stays in one zodiac sign for around 2.5 years. Second priority always goes to the nodes Rahu and Ketu, because they also stay in one sign for nearly 1.5 years of time. Then the third priority goes to the planet Jupiter, because Jupiter's stay also stays in one sign for near about 10 months to 1 year of time. So first we are going to discuss how Saturn's going to behave in the year 2021. Now just because I have already explained it to you that Saturn generally stays in one sign for nearby around 2.5 years of time, but behind each zodiac sign in our Vedic astrology, which is very comprehensive, which is very layered and detailed, behind each zodiac sign there is the energy of 3 asterisms, 3 nakshatras, which provides their energy, their contributing qualities to the functioning of that zodiac sign. So guys, in the year 2021, Saturn is majorly going to spend most of his time even behind the Capricorn in the Shravan Nakshatra. Now you need to understand first what are the underlying qualities of this asterism, this nakshatra, which is going to influence the behavior of the Saturn, which in a way is going to affect all of us. So I mean to say, whenever we have to talk about the Shravan Nakshatra. So see, Shravan is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Moon. Shravan is a nakshatra which lies in the core of the Capricorn zodiac sign. Now Capricorn has a region from 10 degrees to 23 degree 20 minutes. Whenever we have to talk about Capricorn, the first thing which comes to our mind is about organizational skills, about very career driven approach. So I mean to say, all of these qualities which you must have heard or which you must associate with Capricorn zodiac sign underlies and get kind of compact in the functioning of this Shravan Nakshatra. So the way it has been described in our Vedic scriptures is that just because the ruling deity of this star Shravan is Lord Vishnu, which in itself is a preservator, and the goddess Saraswati, which represents all form of knowledge, all form of wisdom, all form of learning. So the thing is, in the functioning of this Shravan Nakshatra works in a way where a lot of emphasis is being given to your discipline and moreover and your capability to access all the form of wisdom and knowledge around you. So a lot of emphasis is being attached to the listening. So now what is going to happen is that in the year 2021, when Saturn will be transiting this Shravan nakshatra, it is good in a way that, for example, rather than being very acting like someone who is bit nonchalant, who is not very concerned, or who is kind of bit unconcerned about the wise advices of the other people, your behaviors, your endeavors have to be receptive enough in order to understand the goodness, the wisdom around you. You have to be, get into that meditative stance where you have to listen to your inner voice. I mean to say, guys, had there been a planet like Mars, if it will be transiting this asterism, which all about sharing of the knowledge, being accessible to the knowledge, then we could have said that for Mars, being proactive could reap you the results. But for a planet like Saturn, which in itself represents discipline, being passive qualities, the transit of Saturn in this Shravan nakshatra could be looked at from the perspective that this year, something concrete is definitely going to happen in your life. Some good opportunities you're definitely going to invite in your life, even from the meditative and the spiritual elevation. This year is definitely going to be very, very eye-opener for you. But the only thing is that you have to remain open towards listening to the wise counsel around you. So this is something, guys, which you can associate as the behavior and functioning of Saturn in the year 2021. Now the most important part is that, see, the first charan or the pada of Shravan is being ruled by the Aries Navamsa, which is all about logic, career oriented drive approach. You can associate with it. The second pada of Shravan nakshatra is about the Taurus Navamsa, where the emphasis is put forth more on the organizational skills, about fixity in your your approach towards the fulfillment of your goals. But the most important part is that, and where Saturn is going to spend a majority of its portion of time in the year 2021, that is going to be in this Shravan's third pada. So now third pada is being ruled by the Gemini Navamsa, where a lot of emphasis is being given on the communication, about the resourcefulness, about acquiring new skill. And this time period is going to be from the month of April to the month of July. In the month of June and July, Saturn is also going to go retrograde, but it is going to stay in the Shravan nakshatra's third pada. So I mean to say, guys, this is going to be a time period where you can encash a lot from Saturn's transit in this Shravan nakshatra. Not only that, guys, even while taking out the auspicious timings, it is being believed that any task undertaken or started in the time of predominance of Shravan nakshatra goes towards the successful final completion. So a lot related to permanent victory, laying foundation for something concrete, substantial in your life, can be associated with the transit of Saturn in the Shravan nakshatra in the year 2021. Let's move ahead, guys. The next slow moving planet which is going to impact our lives due to its transit in the year 2021, which is important to study, is the planet Rahu. Now the case with Rahu is that whichsoever Rahu transits basis your ascendant, it is being seen and it is being observed that certain degree of luck can be experienced in that particular house. Sudden thrust of fascination, obsession towards the signification of the house has been observed in the lives of many people wheresoever Rahu is being transiting in their house from the ascendant. So I mean to say, guys, in the year 2021, Rahu is majorly going to transit even within the Taurus zodiac sign, where it is transiting currently in the Rohini nakshatra. So a major like 3/4 of its time in the year 2021, it's going to be spent in the Rohini nakshatra. Now you need to understand the qualities which gets represented by Rohini. Rohini is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Moon. Rohini represents all kind of civilization, production, allure, charm, good interpersonal skills. So I mean to say, Rahu, which in itself represents materialistic desires. Rahu has got that insatiable appetite. And at the time when I made a video on understanding the result of Rahu's transit in this Taurus zodiac sign, I already explained it to you people that this transit is actually going to invoke and encourage Rahu to attain the financial and materialistic desires which it always craves for. So I mean to say, in this Rohini Nakshatra, Rahu's energy is going to manifest in the form in the year 2021, where native is definitely going to make himself or herself financially stable, financially secure, and lot of efforts will be put forth in the form of attaining luxury or in the form of attaining comforts in the life. This is something which you can see as a form of probable results for Rahu's transit in the Rohini Nakshatra, which is going to remain from the month of February till the month of October. You can attach it with that. And when we talk about the Kritika Nakshatra, where Rahu is going to stay only for the 2 months in the November and December, there could be a little bit of the turmoil and the clash of energies, because Kritika is a nakshatra which is being ruled by Rahu's enemy Sun. And the second thing is that Rahu's way of functioning has got little bit of the wheel of illusion in it. There is little bit of the manipulation, there is little bit of the diplomacy in it. But when we talk about the functioning of Kritika, there is a very on your face approach, because of which there Rahu's functioning, Rahu's plans could get into bone of contention. But apart from that, for the major and the majority of the year of 2021, Rahu's transit in the Rohini Nakshatra could be seen as a very good sign for all the people who are connected with the fields of import and export, anything related to travel business, anything related to financial markets, anything related to art and mass media business. All these people can straight away get benefited because of the Rahu's transit in the year 2021 in the Rohini Nakshatra. Let's move ahead, guys. If you need to understand the transit of Ketu in the year of 2021. So as you people know that Ketu will be transiting in the sign of Scorpio throughout the year 2021. Now it is very important, because whichsoever house Ketu transit from your ascendant, it has the capacity to bring lifetime changes in the signification of that house. Any form of churning out, all form of transformation, being and becoming perfectionist in the signification of the house where Ketu is transiting from your ascendant, all of that remains possible whichever time Ketu is transiting in that particular house in your chart. Now the second thing is that behind the Scorpio zodiac sign, Ketu will be transiting in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha and in the nakshatra of Anuradha. Now you need to understand that Jyeshtha is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Mercury, where a lot of emphasis is being given to attaining power, attaining some leadership role, proving your supremacy in the society. So I mean to say, let's say for example, if in the year of 2021 you are running the fortunate time periods, Dasha period, which signify some kind of attainment of power. So the transit of Ketu could promise you that. And along with that, when Ketu will be transiting the Anuradha Nakshatra from the month of July till the month of December. So Anuradha represents all kind of friendly endeavors, becoming a part of the group and attainment of your goals in a very amiable way. And you cannot even ignore the fact that Anuradha is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Saturn, which is definitely going to be very empowered in this particular year's transit. And last, guys, if you need to understand the transit of Jupiter throughout the year of 2021, so I've already uploaded a video where I've explained that Jupiter will be transiting in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius throughout the year of 2021. So till the month of April, it will be transiting in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Then from April till the month of September, it will be transiting in the sign of Aquarius. From September to November, it will transit back to the Capricorn, and finally in the month of November, it is going to move ahead in the sign of Aquarius. Now the good part about this transit is going to remain that Jupiter's optimism might get suppressed, might get completely surrendered to the power and the disciplined streak of Saturn at the time when it is going to be transiting in the sign of Capricorn, being conjunct with already placed strong Saturn over there. But once it is going to move to the sign of Aquarius, that could be seen as a very fortunate time in working hard towards fulfillment of your goals, of your desires, along with becoming a part of the larger groups. You can look at it from that particular perspective as well. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you and share a sneak peek of the planetary general movement in the year of 2021. Now we will try to understand by making a blend of all of these planets that what kind of results they are going to bring in our lives in the year of 2021. Okay friends, now we will try to understand the impact of planetary transits in the year of 2021 specific to your ascendant. Approach is very simple. Whenever we have to do the yearly predictions, we always give emphasis to the condition and the transits of the slow moving planets, out of which the transit of Saturn gets our maximum attention. So now what is going to happen is that in the whole year of 2021, Saturn is going to be transiting in your 4th house, and behind the Capricorn zodiac sign, it is going to be transiting in the nakshatra of Shravan. Now whenever we have to look at the transit of Saturn in any individual's 4th house, so this transit of Saturn brings out both positive and negative qualities at the same time. So I mean to say, see, 4th house is one of the most important Kendra Bhav in our astrological chart, whether in the form of the tangible aspect of the 4th house, where we see and attach all form of jewelries, house, vehicles, all kind of conveniences. And when you have to talk about the intangible aspect, so 4th house also tells about things which give us comfort, inner containment, peace, happiness. It's like a shell where you coil and roll back to in any form of threatful situation. So I mean to say, Saturn, which in itself represents all kind of fear of responsibilities, all kind of phobias. So I mean to say, the positive side of Saturn's transit in someone's 4th house brings out the qualities of making someone very responsible, very hardworking, giving strong qualities of endurance, forbearance, and somehow native will be put forth in a situation where he has to take up the responsibilities. He has to take up the onus of being accountable of all those people in his domestic life who are dependent on the native. Now, if you have to understand the negative or the vulnerable aspect of this particular placement of the transit of Saturn in the 4th house, it many a times brings out all those kind of qualities where native finds himself in a bit difficult situation in order to attain happiness and comfort. You might find yourself in this whole year of 2021 that you might get more solace being in the confinement of your house. You might get all those kind of thoughts that you will be more contented if you will be inside rather than going out doing outdoor activities. So I mean to say, the positive and negative of this particular transit can be looked at and studied from this angle, that just because Saturn is going to be transiting in the nakshatra of Shravan. Now Shravan is a nakshatra which represents being accessible to all form of knowledge around you. See, 4th house in itself represents your heart. It represents the, you can also look at it from the Anahata chakra, from the heart chakra. So I mean to say, the more you will do meditation, the more you will do the yogic practices, you can awaken the inner light and you can listen to the wisdom, you can listen to the divine voice right from within you. So you can see the transit of Saturn in the major portion of 2021, which is going to be happening in the Shravan nakshatra, in a way that you will come across all those kind of situations, circumstances where you have to become accountable and you have to become responsible for the duties towards all of your domestic life and all those people in your domestic life who are dependent on you. You might get an opportunity to go to the root of all those concerns which might have been bothering you for long. Now this could be, let's say for example, in all those cases where any kind of property related disputes are qualifying. So you might get to the core of all those concerns, issues, and you might come up with a concrete lasting solution for that. Or let's say, for example, any kind of psychological problems, any kind of your fears, your phobias, you will get a chance to look in their face and try to find out a concrete solution of all those kind of fears and phobias of yours. Now, if you have to understand how Jupiter is going to be contributing in this particular year's transit for you people. So now what is going to happen is that in your case, Jupiter rules the third house, and it also rules the sixth house, and it is going to be debilitated in the fourth house conjunct with Saturn. So you can look at it from this particular aspect, that just because Jupiter will be completely getting starved because of a strengthened Saturn over there. So I am just looking at this year's transit from this angle, that you have to keep on, motivating yourself. Try to surround yourself by the positive people. All kind of health, rejuvenating, self-motivating practices are definitely going to help you to sail through and get the best results this year. See, the thing is, for this particular year's transit, from the materialistic prospects, this year could actually prove to be very fortunate for you. But when we talk about the inner contentment, peace, happiness, there could be all those kind of circumstances where you might have achieved a lot, but at the same time the sense of unfulfillment might still bother you. So because of which, these all are the areas where you have to work. Monitoring your diet, self-rejuvenating practices, yoga, meditation, spirituality, religious austerities can definitely help you get the best out of this year of 2021. Now, if we have to understand how Rahu and Ketu are contributing this year to you guys. So now Rahu in this whole year, a major portion of the year of 2021, will be transiting in your 8th house. Rahu is strengthened in the 8th house, and Rahu will be transiting in the major portion of this year in the nakshatra of Rohini. Now, whenever we talk about Rohini, Rohini represents beauty, elegance. It represents a very alluring qualities of the moon, because it is a nakshatra which is being ruled by moon. Now you have to understand that whenever we talk about any form of wealth, any form of charm, so what better example can I give you other than Lord Vishnu's, Lord Krishna incarnation, in whose chart, as it has been derived from our holy scriptures, that Lord Krishna was born with his moon and his ascendant in the Rohini nakshatra. Same goes with, even if you have to take the example of Queen Victoria, in whose chart at the prime of her monarch, she was almost the queen of 75% of earth, and she also had her ascendant and moon in the Rohini nakshatra. Now, why I'm telling you all of these things? Because Rahu will be transiting in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is a house which represents concerns of life and death, of joint resources, banking, all kind of inheritances, legacies. All those people who are in the domain of any kind of fantasy writing, this house becomes important for them as well. So I mean to say, if your occupation, if your livelihood is directly connected with the prospects of the 8th house, connected with occult sciences, insurance, research, philosophy, any kind of strange adventures, so you might benefit this year. That too, specifically I am saying from the perspective of financial prospect. So financially, if all these kind of circumstances, situation, attributes qualify in your life, you can definitely benefit, and all those gains could come in a very sudden, unexpected way, when you will be least expecting those results. So you can see the contribution of Rahu in your 8th house in this regard. Now let's move to the 2nd house. How is Ketu going to be contributing this year to you guys? So now what is going to happen is that Ketu's transit in the 2nd house in the first half of the year 2021 is going to be happening in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, and in the second half it is going to be happening in the nakshatra of Anuradha. If I were to say, I would say the part of the Jyeshtha of Ketu's transit makes someone bit vulnerable, volatile in the matters of handling finances, that too how you are going to save your money. So the 3 areas where you have to work on is, first is any form of speculation, any form of gambling, any form of uncalculated risk while managing your finances is something where you need to give lot of attention. The second thing is that you have to also monitor your speech, because it has been many times seen that the whenever Ketu is transiting in the second house, it makes someone's speech bit critical, at the same time bit intense, to the degree and extent of getting very harsh. And third is keeping your degree of optimism bit intact, because Saturn and Jupiter's churning in your fourth house of inner peace and domestic happiness, sense of fulfillment, is actually getting bit starved by the placement of Saturn and debilitated Jupiter over there, and moreover with Ketu's placement in the second house could make you vulnerable in these areas. And like the way I already explained, all of these four planetary energies are not making you vulnerable in any of your financial growth, your career aspirations, on the relationship front. They are only making you vulnerable on the matters of keeping your emotional happiness intact. They are just making you vulnerable on the front of your emotional happiness. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you as a general planetary, these slow moving planetary transits results. Now we will try to take up each individual category one by one, and we will see what is exactly happening in those areas of your life. So first we will try to understand what is happening at your career front in this year 2021. So now whenever we have to give attention to the matters of career, we always look at the condition of the 10th house, which tells about your professional duties, your professional ambitions, professional work arena environment. We look at the condition at the state of 6th house, which tells about your daily work life, all those people who report to you, your dedication, devotion towards your work. Third house, which also tells about your efforts, your courage, your valor. So if you have to scrutinize all these three houses, you will find over here that you will see that a strengthened Saturn from the fourth house is actually aspecting your 10th house. And I've already explained that Saturn's third aspect encourages you to put more efforts, seventh aspect causes delays, and 10th aspect is the aspect which is responsible for giving you justice, judgment. So I mean to say, Saturn's 7th aspect looking at your 10th house is definitely going to give you little bit of the sleepless nights. So I mean to say, the career related concerns might keep you occupied this year. You can see it from that angle. The second thing is that there could be all those kind of circumstances and situations where you will be working hard only with this burning fear of insecurities. See, you have to understand this thing that whichsoever planet sits in a house, it brings its own flavors. So I mean to say, a strong fourth house being covered in the energies of Venus will encourage you to step out, accumulate resources, and enjoy the life. When we talk about moon, it's all about feeling emotional fulfillment. But when we talk about a planet like Saturn, which is strengthened in your fourth house, so during this year you will be encouraged to work towards the fulfillment of your career goals, to feel emotionally secure. So this year your driving energy towards your career is definitely going to be fulfilled by or supplemented by fear of insecurity, which is actually at the end of the day going to work in your favor only. And the second thing is that, so from the fourth house, Saturn is going to give its third aspect to your sixth house, which could be decoded in a way that you will definitely feel yourself more energized to put more efforts at work front while fulfilling your duties. And at the same time, Saturn is actually going to give the qualities of forbearance, endurance to how to tackle your enemies, any kind of threatful situation, maintaining your calm. You can look at it from that perspective as well. And at the end of the day, Saturn's 10th aspect is actually going to look at your first house. So I mean to say, whatsoever efforts you're going to put this year, now whether they could be driven by fear of insecurity, but at the end of the day, Saturn is capable of giving you position, authority, power. You can see from the Saturn's 10th aspect looking at your first house to your ascendant. And at the same time, Rahu is also strengthened in your 8th house. So sudden change of fortune can happen this year. The only thing is that little bit on the matters of your emotional nourishment, emotional fulfillment, feeling of pessimism are some areas where you have to work right from the first day of year 2021. Now let's try to understand what kind of energies I got from tarot. One more thing guys, whenever I check the tarot cards, I show you the tarot cards. Via tarot, we do not look at the concrete yes or no questions or answers. All what we try to see, because if I were to explain it to you, the way I look at tarot is I see divinity in tarot. So it means whatever we get from tarot, it's like the divine indications, it's like the divine instructions. So we need to strategize ourselves, those areas of our life in tandem with the energies and the instructions we are receiving from tarot. So the first card which I received from tarot for your career related concerns is the Page of Wands. So Page of Wands just tells about that try not to be immature while handling the matters of your career, while taking important decisions. So try not to be act out of any form of foolhardiness or any form of immaturity. The second card guys which I received, that is of the Six of Cups. So Six of Cups just tells about that there will be those kind of circumstances where you will find yourself that the people of authority figure, people who are in a commanding position, they might support you, they might support your endeavors, or they might acknowledge your hard work. So your hard work is not going to go to drain, it is definitely going to be in the limelight, being all the time monitored by senior people who might support you. And the final card guys which came is the Tower card, which came out to be reversed. So this card can be looked at and can be read as in a way that if there has been some kind of turmoils, some kind of upheaval, some kinds of transformation which might have been going through at your work front. So like I mean to say, if your career has been unstable for quite long in past, so this year could give you opportunity to bring stability in the matters of your career. So those instability related concerns can be curbed this year. You can see this card with this approach. Now let's try to look at the other second category of your life, which is going to be about what is going to happen at your financial front. I have already explained, whenever we have to look at from the financial prospects, we give attention to the second house of our astrological chart. We give attention to our 11th house. Second house tells about all kind of financial gains, your assets, and 11th house tells about all kind of opportunities, all kind of supplementary income. So now what is going to happen here is that if you have to look at here, that I've already explained, just because of the placement of Ketu in your second house, I've already explained this thing, that this whole year you have to remain bit careful how you're going to spend your money. So spending, saving, any form of speculation, specifically if you have all these kind of gambling tendencies or you are very risk taking in the matters of money, so you have to remain bit cautious, bit careful, because Ketu is transiting in your second house. Now the second thing is that, see, just because I have already explained it to you, that once Jupiter is going to be in the months of from April till the month of September, once Jupiter will enter the 5th house of your chart, so that time still could be seen as a promising time for some kind of supplementary income, secondary income, some kind of financial gains, where your contacts could also play an important role. You can see it from that particular perspective. And if I were to say specifically from the yearly transit, so your ascendant lord, which is going to be Venus, so the months of April, May and October and November could be of some good financial gains just on the basis of your ascendant lord's transit in your chart. You can see it from that perspective. So guys, if I were to summarize, I'm not seeing much of the vulnerability on your financial front. The only thing is that risks have to be very much calculated, and the second thing is that you have to make it a habit of saving money. This is one thing which I want to advise you. But apart from that, if your career comes in the purview of any of the 8th house related matters, where banking is involved, anything related to fantasy writing is involved, insurance, research, occult sciences, any form of dealing with wills, legacies, matters of immigration, so you can actually get benefited very in a very prosperous way in this year. Okay guys, and now we will try to see what kind of energies I received from tarot specifically for the concerns of your finances in this year. So the card which I received, this just came out to be one straight away, the major arcana card, which came out to be the reverse of justice. So this card in itself tells about that this whole year you need to abide by full fairness and honesty, ethical standards in the matters of finances. Otherwise, a strengthened Saturn and a second house Ketu could also get you entangled in any of the legal matters as well. Now again guys, whenever we talk about tarot, it is different from astrology in a way that in tarot straight away divine presides in that. When we talk about astrology, along with divinity, along with it a holy science, there is a lot of calculation involved in it. And whenever we talk about these kind of prediction videos, I do not know what kind of dashas and planetary alignments you have in your chart. But when we talk about tarot, it's straight away the divine instructions guides us, and the divine instructions are just telling us that this year in the matters of your finances, full fairness needs to be abided by. Let's move to the next category guys. In the next category, we will try to find out what is happening at your relationship front. So whenever we have to look at any individuals or any ascendants relationship energies, we always give attention to the original air houses, which is the third house, which tells about your interaction with your siblings within the neighborhood, 7th house, which tells about your interaction with the world, and 11th house, which tells about your interaction within the large groups. So I mean to say, what is going to happen over here is that guys, I'm not seeing any kind of vulnerability over here. The only thing is that in order to feel emotionally fulfilled, in order to feel emotionally nourished, it's very important for you people this year to actually go out, meet people and mingle up with people. Socialization is altogether very important for you, because otherwise if you will try to find solace being indoors, trying to make yourself overburdened with the family responsibilities, domestic responsibilities, then in those particular cases, situations, it might drain you of energy. So socialization is altogether very important for you people. And let's say for example, in all those cases where people are actually awaiting to get into relationship, find their soulmate, so all of that can also happen in the months of from April to September, when Jupiter will enter your 5th house of love, romance. So I mean to say, this year socialization is altogether very much recommended for you. Rejuvenating techniques, all kind of yoga, spirituality, being attuned and connected to nature. So all these activities are actually strongly recommended to you people for this year. And the kind of theme which I received from tarot is, I received a lot of mini cards for this year, specifically for the matters of your relationship and socialization, any form of opportunities. So the first card which I received, that came out to be of the King of Swords, upright King of Swords, which just tells about that you might remain lucky in socializing with people who are actually holding good position, good authority, or socializing with them might reinforce to your social influence in the society, or might add to your knowledge base, your intellectual level. So I mean to say, this card is a positive energy. The second divine indication which we received on your relationship front came out to be of the King of Cups, which just tells about try not to get yourself very much emotionally connected with people. Like the way I've already told you, your 4th house is bit drained. So just because of your this emotional dryness, try not to cling yourself to other people just for your emotional stability. So you can decode this card with this approach. The third card which came out to be, that is of the 6 of Pentacles, which just tells about in the matters of any form of socialization or any kind of casual acquaintances, you have to be very careful while trusting with other people on the matters of money. The next card guys which I received, that is of the 4 of Swords, which is a positive energy, which just tells about lot of contemplation, lot of planning, lot of strategies which might get discussed, lot of opportunities or lot of ideas which might get exchanged, which might encourage you to contemplate on those future projections or future plans. So this is a positive energy. The next card, guys, which came, that turned out to be the Five of Wands. So this card is reversed, which just tells about some new opportunities might brew up. So initial level, you might run into conflicts with people, but those initial conflicts might turn the situation around, and there could be some new opportunities as well coming out of those initial conflicts. And the final card, major arcana card, which came, that is of the Hangman card, the card which is bit reversed. So the Hangman card, whenever this card, guys, come reversed, this card just tells about that your inability to let go. So I've already explained it to you on your relationship front. Try not to cling on people. You have to remain bit contemplative in which all contacts are actually helping you grow in life, and which all are the contacts which are just draining your energy, which you have to let go. And guys, coming to the next category of looking at what is going to happen for all the students, all those people who will be studying and preparing for any kind of competitive exams. So for you guys, the major emphasis goes always on the condition of the fifth house, third house. So your fifth house, Jupiter is going to enter your fifth house from the period of the month of April till the month of September. And apart from that, see, I would say this time period is very beneficial for all those people who are in any form, are being connected or being a student of any form of research where science is involved, where any form of anything related to engineering, technical subjects are involved. So all these students or students of all these field could actually benefit in this year. That's one thing which I wanted to tell you. The second thing is that like the way I've already explained it to you, that the circumstances and situation might make you little bit worrisome because of the transit of Saturn in your fourth house. So the only remedy is that even in your domestic life, all those people who are around you, try to listen to them, doing any form of yoga, meditation, reaching out to people in your own comfort zone around you only can give you good advice. So I mean to say, the best advice you might get from people in your close-knit circle. All what is required is you have to remain accessible and open towards any suggestion which people are giving to you. And the cards which I received for you this particular area of life came out to be quite lot many cards. So the first card which came out, that is of the Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords just tells about initial few months could be filled with lot of worries, lot of stress. So the choice of college you want to get into, the whichsoever you have set your bar for getting the grades on any subjects. So those worries, those troubles could give you sleepless nights. But at the end of the day, Saturn, this is what Saturn's nature is. It wants to bring that environment of, and create that environment of fear, create that environment of losing hope in order to push you to perform to the best of your capabilities. The second card, guys, which came out to be, that is of the Nine of Pentacles, which came out to be reversed, which is just giving us this indication: try to stay away from cell phones, mobile phone, all these kind of tech things which could come in the way of fulfilling your academic goals. So that's one thing, that your social media needs to be very much calculated, very much balanced in how much time is it actually consuming of your studies. So you have to remain very very circumspect managing all those areas. The third card, guys, which came out to be of the Ten of Wands. Oh my god. So this year is just becoming more and more creating energies of doing more hard work. So this is something which we can see from this card, Ten of Wands. The first card was also of Nine of Swords, which came out to be in a state that you have to work hard. Otherwise, if you will not cope up right from the first day of the month of the year of 2021, later on you might find it difficult to catch up. So you have to remain intact right from the day one. The next card, guys, which came, that is of the Nine of Wands. So this card also tells about that you have to be independent. You should not be dependent on other people, whether in the form of doing your combined study, being dependent on when your teacher or your tuition teacher, your tutors are going to share notes with you. You have to remain proactive in the matters of your academics, in the matters of your studies. This is the advice which I want to give you with this 9 of Wands card, which just tells about that the person has actually got very bogged down and being beaten down because of the pressure. So this is something which we are receiving from over here. The next card, guys, which came, that is again of the 6 of Wands. So I'm not looking at many people supporting you, reaching out to you. So try to be self sufficient this year in the matter of your academics. The next card, guys, which came, that turned out to be Ace of Swords. Like the way I've already explained it to you people, that this transit is beneficial for all those people who are somehow connected with the field of insurance, field of research, technical field, engineering fields. So I mean to say, some original work in your research can come out for all the students of these fields. So this time can be seen as very beneficial for all of you. And the final major arcana card turned out to be the card of the Emperor. So guys, you have to understand this thing, that whenever we do any kind of tarot reading, important is at the end all of your endeavors where they are leading you. So at the end of the this category, reaching the Emperor card in itself tells about whatsoever hard work you will go through this year, that is actually going to take you to a place of strength, stability, achievement, accomplishment. You can see it from that approach as well. But yes, there is lot of sleepless nights and hard work which is coming your way for all the students of Libra Ascendant, as we can see for the year of 2021. So guys, the only piece of remedy which I want to give you is that, see, Saturn and Jupiter are creating a very tumultuous energy, a strengthened, a restraining energy in your 4th house. So I would say, even if the circumstances will make you staying indoor for longer period of time, so the only thing is that you can create that aura and energy of divinity even inside your domestic life in order to get the best result out of this transit, and keeping yourself emotionally hydrated and emotionally protected. So I mean to say, following Vastu in your interior house decor, or let's say for example organizing any of the religious or spiritual part or puja during this time, can actually bring good results in your life, leading you to the state of emotional nourishment and contentment. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you as a part of the yearly transit theme for all the Libra Ascendant people. I pray to Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva's grace shall shine upon you and all of your wishes should come true this year of 2021. So for further more updates and notification on the science of astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page.